Hi everyone. Hi Tom. Tom, I know you're so looking forward to introducing me and giving me so much encouragement. But if you're watching this, unfortunately, I couldn't make it in person, so you're gonna have to make do with this recording. It's a one take. If I make the 5 minutes, I make the 5 minutes. If I have to speed read a bit, I'm gonna speed read a bit. But let's crack on. So we're talking about recreating classroom communities online. Let's start with the why and some quotes. Without these community structures, education would be a very lonely place. Students wouldn't be able to work together on group projects, help each other through tricky material, or share their interest and passion for certain subjects. Learning communities play a significant role in ensuring that students remain motivated. Look at those words: working together, lonely, helping each other, sharing, motivation. We've all been working in isolation since March of 2020, and I think you'll all agree we miss the communities of practice that we have in our tea rooms in between classes. So this is a way of addressing that. Osterman in 2000 said community exists when its members experience a sense of belonging or personal relatedness. The community has a shared and emotional sense of connection, and you see that in a physical classroom. You see friendships. Some say that the friendships from college are the ones that last a lifetime. Unfortunately, our first years don't have the opportunity to make those friends this year. Rovey and Whiting in 2005 said community provides a place in which individuals are free to express their identities and help them deal with changes and difficulties in society at large. Students who feel lonely or isolated will invest more time and energy in seeking a sense of community than in learning. So if they're missing that sense of community, if they're missing the friendships, the learning will suffer. And the research also agrees isolation leads to higher dropout rates. Community creates a better learning experience for students. There's huge value in democratic discussion, which we know. There's a strong need for lecturer presence, so I think the lecturer needs to be present in these communities, and the importance of social presence as well that Garrison talks about. So Garrison, Anderson and Archer's Community of Inquiry, I'm sure many of you will be aware of it. It talks about social presence, and it talks about the engagement with participants, supporting discourse, setting a climate, and that adds to the overall educational experience. So what we're proposing is having a formal platform that enables all of that. In fact, the Armelani and the Stefani 2016 version of that Community of Inquiry suggests that community development is core to the social presence. So we're looking at the socialization of content, interactions for learning, adding to that overall learning experience. Social presence is important, especially at the beginning of the semester, but more so actually at the beginning of their third level journey. Students are getting to know and trust each other and you as lecturers. If students can make interpersonal connections with each other, they are more likely to engage with the course and the content. Indicators of social presence include effective responses, interactive responses, and cohesive responses. So students already have WhatsApp and Facebook groups in place, and they can build their learning communities, provide peer support, build friendships, share knowledge, maybe share some memes, be the social space for a class, get an answer to a question and not have to wait until the lecturer's next class. It's a real-time instant messaging platform for students to talk to each other. But, you might think that that's the problem solved. Off they go, WhatsApp, nothing to do with us. But there's a lot of problems there, including these conversations are not lecturer-led. Incorrect information can be shared and the lecturer cannot correct it. There's no control over what's said in them. And we've seen issues, not in WIT, but in the papers for some of the legal colleges in Dublin, let's say no more. And students have access to each other's mobile numbers, which can be dangerous as well. But most of all, these social networks for learners do not exist for first years. The second, third, fourth years have been swapping numbers. They've built those friendships and relationships in class for years. So here's our pitch. Thanks to the Dragon's Den, and that's you in front of me today on Zoom. We propose the creation of a formal community platform for learners that is lecturer-led and is ubiquitous across your institute. In WIT, we use Microsoft Teams. We have the ability to create a Microsoft team for each module, where we have a lecturer as the owner of that team and students become members. It becomes one place for all lecture communications with a class. The lecture is included in the conversations, a place for students to talk about course material, peer support for material, real-time messaging. Most of all, it's a place to collaborate and to become a social space and to enable that teacher and social presence for students. It's a single community platform for all students and lecturers. So getting started, you can do things like using simple icebreakers, uploading your photos, making a safe space for students to answer and ask questions. You can provide messages that are respectful, positive, encouraging, timely and frequent. And I want to say thank you, Tom. I went 17 seconds over, but the slides are available if you want to look back in more detail on pete.ie/edtech. Thanks very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of EdTech.